Howdy gang, Michelle here, and happy August. I am bringing you a new one called Gigi, and this one is actually one that works up super quick, and it's really fun to do, and it turns into a thin little pencil scarf. Hold on, there's a piece of cat hair on here, and I started this one probably 2 weeks ago, and I haven't been working on it every day because I have so many things going on, but it literally works up super quick. And this is just one skein, and I'm almost done with it. That's how much I have left. So it works up really, really quick. And I am going to show you how simple it is to actually do this. And as always, I have the information here for the body and the legend and the chart down here for those of you like me that are visual people and would like to see it with the chart as well. So there you go. So let's get started with what I used. I'm going to put this right here for a second. I used my Sinwood loom. It is a 20 peg rake, and it's a 1/2 inch. I use 16 pegs in this. So the pattern is actually 12 plus 4. So you're going to have 4 end pegs, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's 12 in the middle. So if you want to increase and make it bigger, you're just going to go by 12. So you're going to add 12 increments. If you want to make it wider for a shawl or a wrap or something like that, just add an additional 12 and then add an additional 4 or an additional 2 to the end. So you already have these 2, just make sure to add another 2 to the end. So you'll do 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, so on and so forth. You guys know how to do this. So as you can see here, as always, I like to use painter's tape to mark my looms, so that way I don't really need this once I get going, and you won't either, because you'll learn how to read where your yarn is without this after a while. So for me, just by looking at this, I know that the last one I used, where I left off, if I walk away and come back, I know by looking at this that row 7 was the last one I finished, because if you look on 1, 3, 5, they are a tighter knit, and 7, I see that it was a empty peg, and I just worked the yarn in front of that. So that's how I know. There you go. I'll get it a little closer for you guys. That's how I know I just worked that yarn over in front. And same thing on this side. So if you look at the chart right here, that's right next to the center where they both come together. And that's right here. These 2 pegs right here are the center. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to put this right here, how easy it is to do this and to move the pegs, because I know a lot of people are new, or maybe they're not familiar with how to move pegs if they're not right next to one another. So I've already gone ahead and I've purled these 2. And now I'm just, this one always just gets knitted. So I've purled these 2, and peg 3 always gets knitted, and peg 14 over here always gets knitted as well, going and coming back. So I'm going to knit that off. And now I know that I have to move peg 1 and leave this empty, and I have to move all these other ones over and keep a double loop over here. So what I'm going to do is I just knitted off peg 1, and I'm going to knit 3, and I'm going to come back to 1, and I'm going to leave a bunch of extra yarn like that, and we'll be able to tighten that up once we move all the others, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I just knit off 5, knit off 7, and knit off my center for this side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a little out over here and pull a little out over here. Now I'm going to come back to 7. I'm going to move 7 over to my center. I'm going to lightly tug on 5. I'm going to lightly tug on 3. Come back to 5, move 5 to 7. Move 3 to 5. And move 1 to 3. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of loose yarn right here on 3. So I'm going to go to 5 and I'm going to snug that up. And don't pull it super hard. You just want to snug it up lightly. Go to 7, snug it up, and then just kind of move your working yarn down a little bit and grab this top one and just lightly snug it up. And then pull your working yarn and lightly snug that up as well. So now you have 2 strands here on the center peg on this side. Okay, I'm going to move my camera down a little bit to make it easier for you guys to see. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. All right, so now we're going to do this side. And this side is a little bit easier when it comes to movement. So I'm going to knit this one off. I'm going to knit 7. I'm going to knit 5. I'm going to take 7 and I'm going to move it over here to my center peg. I'm going to knit 3. And then I'm going to come back to 5. Oops. I'm going to give it a little tug. Knit off 7. I'm going to knit off 1. I'm going to give a little tug to 3 and move that to 5. I'm going to go to 14. Remember, that always gets knitted, doesn't ever move. Snug out from 1, and there you go. So now number 1 on this side and number 1 on this side are both naked, meaning they have nothing on them. And now I'm going to purl off these 2. And close out this row. There you go. And now you're just going to knit your way, and again, this is true knit or U-knit, not E-wrap. There's no E-wrap in this at all. It's just U-knit or true knit. Now when you come to the naked ones, the ones with no yarn on it, you're just going to work that yarn in front and go to the next peg and knit it off, and then just continue to knit. And again, don't beat up your yarn, don't choke it out, don't fight with it, don't, you know, just easy, smooth. It shouldn't be so tight that you have to fight with it to knit it off. Whoops, yeah, did it right. Okay, so I just knitted that last one. Now I'm going to bring it around and I'm going to knit it off, or excuse me, purl it off, and purl the one next to it. And remember that one right next to it here and the number 14 one here always get knitted. All right, so now we just did the number 1 row. Now we're going to get 3 and make that one naked. So we're going to knit off 1. We're going to go to 3 and knit it off. We're going to knit 5. And then we're going to take and pull a nice amount from 3. We're going to knit 7. And then we're going to knit the center. I always pull a little off of 7 also, so just give me a little extra. So move 7 to the center. Okay, and as you can see, that's nice and loose. I'm going to pick up 5, carry 5 over, and 5 is nice and loose. So that looseness comes over to 3. I'm going to move 3 to 5. And now you can see that 3 is nice and naked. Okay, still a little loose here, so I'm going to come to 5 and just barely tighten that up a little bit. Just snug it up. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, because when you knit off these two here, you don't want them to be so tight that you have to fight them to get over and knit both of them off at the same time. So now I'm going over to the other side. I'm going to knit, knit, knit 5. I'm going to take 7, put it over to the center, knit 3. I'm going to move 5 to 7. I'm going to knit 1, 3 to 5, and then I'm going to knit number 14 over here, and then I'm going to purl these last 2. Whoops. There we go. All right, so now I've got that purled off. I'm just going to knit all the way back. And we're just going to continue that for row 5 and row 7. So this one's naked. We're just going to come right across the front to peg 5. And here we are at the center. We're going to grab both of them and knit it off. Knit both of them off. Another one that's naked. Coming up on the last one. Done. So now I'm going to purl. And purl. Now we're going to have row 5 be the one that we're going to have naked this time. Okay, so again, we're always going to just knit this one. We're going to knit 1, knit 3, knit 5, knit 7, give yourself a little tug on 5. You don't need a whole lot because you're just basically moving 1 at this point. Then you're going to go back to 7. You're going to move 7 over to the center, and then you're going to give 5 a little tug and move that over to 7. There you go. And it's really loose, so you're good. Go over to the other center, knit, knit 7, knit 5, move 7 over to the center, knit 3, grab 5 and move that to 7, and then you're going to continue to knit 1, knit 14, and then purl these last 2. And that is how simple this is. So we got one more, which is 7. We're going to get to that next. We're going to knit all the way back first. And then we got 5 that's naked, so we're going to bring our working yarn right across the front of it to 7. We're going to knit off the center 2. Knit both of those off. Knit off across 5. And the last one. Bring it around, purl these two, and we'll be on our last row. All right, so we're going to knit this one. We're going to knit 1, 3, 5, 7, center, grab 7, take it over to the center, and just lightly shore it up. Knit the other center, knit 7, knit 5, give yourself a little slack and move 7 over to the other center. Now you have 2 on both those centers, and then just continue to knit till you get to the last 2, and then you're just going to purl those. That's why I said this works up nice and quick. And once you get into that groove, it'll be done before you know it. I like to make the little pencil scarves. I think they're really cute and they work up really quick. And they make great infinity scarves. Or they make really good wrap scarves if you like them that wrap up around a couple of times. Or you can do them wider for wraps or shawls. It's totally up to you. All right, so now we're knitting all the way back. Go in front. Oh, let's get that piece out of here. Knitting off both of the centers. Working that yarn in front. Knitting all the way back. And knitting these last 2. And then I'm just gonna purl these 2 and then we'll stop there. And this yarn that I'm using is actually Malabrigo Rios in Archangel. Absolutely love it. I get all of my Malabrigo from my landlady's knit shop. All right, and that is actually how easy it is. So what it looks like, I know it's kind of hard to see because I haven't really, I haven't steam blocked it yet or anything like that, but it gives you this really pretty design that you can kind of see there. Here, let me see if I can stretch it out a little bit more for you. There you go. You can kind of see it there more. And once it's blocked, it's going to look even better. But it works up really quick, and I know that with all the other yarns out there, you guys are going to just totally rock this. But yeah, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So I know you guys are going to do great with this, and I can't wait to see what everybody comes up with the yarn choices that you guys use. So there you go. Thanks so much, guys. I can't wait to see what you all do and what yarn choices that you're going to create with this. And that's about it. So happy looming, everybody. See you soon. Bye.